शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ सहनाववतु भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। So today we'll begin Atmashatkam. Atmashatkam is a stotra by Sri Shankaracharya ji. Shatkam means a group of 6 verses. So this is a stotra which is having 6 verses. And the name suggests that it is Atmashatkam, which means these are the 6 verses pertaining to Atma, pertaining to self. So this is Atmashatkam. Before we go into the stotra proper, it would be in place to know something about the author or to something about the poet. Of course, you all are, I'm sure, well versed with Sri Shankaracharya, but still it would be nice to remember him before we get into the stotra itself. Because Sri Shankaracharya ji is such a figure that actually for us to talk about Sri Shankaracharya ji means to unfold Ishvara himself. He is none other than Ishvara for us. Let us see how the advent of Shankaracharya ji happened. It is said by Bhagavan himself, Lord Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata Abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. Bhagavan says, whenever there is decline of dharma and rise of adharma, then I incarnate myself to bring about the order, to get rid of adharma and to establish dharma. Because it is dharma, driyate iti dharmaha, that which upholds, that which sustains is called dharma. And it is this order or righteousness which upholds the creation. And when that is in decline, and when human beings cannot do anything about it, then Ishvara himself comes to make everything proper. Lord has incarnated himself many times, and there are full avtaras also, as well as amsha avtaras also. Whenever the situation requires that he should come in his full form, then the incarnation may be of that type. And when little bit, a part of it is required, because the work may be of that nature, then that kind of incarnation also takes place. Generally it is seen that whenever evil or unrighteousness is to be destroyed, is to be removed, then we have seen that Lord Vishnu, he takes avatara and he comes. But when right understanding is required, when dharma itself in the form of knowledge, which is the climax of dharma, that goes into decline, then Sadashiva or Shiva, who is the deity of knowledge, who is the presiding deity of knowledge, who stands for knowledge, he incarnates, generally speaking. It's not that Narayana doesn't come that way, but generally speaking we can say. So Lord Shiva himself came as Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti ji is the first teacher, and a unique teacher. Teacher who doesn't speak. Teacher who did not speak, kept quiet and taught. But his presence itself was so powerful and vibrating. He was himself the epitome of knowledge and purity. 1 second. And so, in the Satyuga, or even before that, Lord Shiva came as Dakshinamurti. And who were his students? All the rishis were his students. He was young man, and the rishis that are shown in the photographs are all of them pretty old. And he sat under a banyan tree and gave knowledge. Gave knowledge in which way? Keeping quiet. Mauna Vyakya. Mauna Vyakya. His Vyakya or his discourse was in the form of Maunam. Keeping quiet. But in his presence, all the doubts and ignorance completely vanished. That was his presence. But in Kali Yuga, this will not work. This Mauna Vyakya cannot work in Kali Yuga. Then in between also, Lord took many incarnations. In Dwapara, at the end of Dwapara, Lord Krishna himself came. Rama came in Treta, etc. Many works were done by them. In Dwapara, Vedavyasa also came. He was also one form of Narayana also. But in the beginning of Kali Yuga, I think 2000 years of Kali Yuga or more than that has also passed when Shankaracharya ji came. The situation was so critical as far as India or Bharata was concerned, the situation culturally, economically, socially, in every way, it was a terrible time. It was the most critical time. And at that time, our Vedic culture was almost destroyed, was almost gone. At that time, all the deities, all the devatas requested Lord Shiva to do something about it. And therefore, it is said, this is all given in so many books, Then Lord Shiva himself decided to come in the form of a Brahmin, as Shankaracharya ji, which we will see, to rectify the thing. And as I said, his earlier form was Dakshinamurti, which was keeping quiet, Mauna Vyakya. But now, and sitting there under the tree, disciples and sages would come to him. But now he got up from there. Sitting will not work in Kali Yuga. And so the thing which we see in Shankaracharya is he constantly moved and constantly spoke and constantly wrote in his short life. But that is how, what I am saying is the same Lord Shiva who came as Dakshinamurti, the first teacher, came in the form of Sri Shankaracharya. And there was one couple in Kerala. In Kerala, there is a small village called Kaladi. You must be knowing about this. This place is very well made now. So much work is done, and it is a place to see. So in Kerala, there is a small village called Kaladi, and there was a very pious couple, Shivaguru and Aryamba. They were old, in fact, but they did not have any issue. They did not have any offspring. And so, were great devotees of Lord Shiva. One day, both of them were praying. At that time, in the temple they were praying. At that time, Shiva appeared before them, before both of them. And he is asking them, making a proposition, that do you want a child? Both of them said yes. Then he said, there are two options before you. Either you will have 100 children, 100, but very ordinary. And they will live long. They will have long life, but very ordinary children, hundreds of them. Or you want one son, but he will be very bright, he will be unique, but he will not live long. He will have very short life. Both of them, they said, we will talk with each other, consult each other, and then we will let you know. Both of them then sat together, and then they decided upon this choice, that it is better to have a single son, but who is bright, who is unique, and that is how they decided. And this is how Lord Shiva was born in their family as this child. On, I think, Vaishakh Panchami, Shukla Panchami, about 1500 years ago, or more than that. Then he was born. And very soon, only after his birth, very soon his father died. But of course, before that, Upanayanam is given to the child. And then very soon his father passed away. But his mother saw to it that he got education. And very soon, within 2 years, he learned his native language and many other things and all the Vedas. Just imagine, in 3-4 years, he learned everything. And then he began teaching also to the boys and other Brahmin boys that were there. This is how it was going on. he is nursing the idea to renounce the world. Right from that age, he wants to go away. So he is requesting, asking his mother's permission. Mother said, nothing doing. Whatever you, as we see, whatever we see in that way, his mother also declined. But he has come with a mission. And so, one day, he is planning in his way. And then one day, he went for a bath in the river. And then, a shark or a crocodile caught his leg. So, he is telling his friends, go and call my mother, because I am going to die. So you better go and call her. They call her. And then Shankara is telling his mother that, see, this shark is the shark of samsara. Either you allow me to take sannyasa, then this shark will release me. This crocodile will release me. Otherwise, I am drowned or he will eat me. Mother said, okay, yes, do whatever you want to do. But first get rid of this. Mother said, get rid of this crocodile, I will allow you to take sannyasa. Immediately as she said that, the crocodile released Shankara and he came out swimming. And then mother said, come beta, come, we'll go home. He said, nothing doing. I am taking sannyasa now. I am not coming back with you. Mother said, what is this nonsense? She went back on her words. She said, nothing doing. You are coming. Shankara said, no. See, otherwise again this will catch me. But I am going. And this is how the mother said, she was as usual. She was in tears and everything and wept and all that. And then she said, but give me one promise. That when my time comes, it is my end time, when death is near me, that time you come. You come when it is my last time, that time from anywhere you please come. Shankara promised, yes, whatever will happen, but still I will come to you. This is how he left. That time, his age was of about 8 years, 7 or 8 years, less than that perhaps. Then he went towards north. Imagine a child of 7 or 8 years walking towards north all alone, and then he is in search of his guru. He had heard that there is a very famous and knowledgeable person at the bank of Narmada, and his name is Govindapada. So he went in search of him. And it so happened that as he reached there, that time the river was in splurge, flooded, everything was flooded. And his guru was living in a cave with all the disciples, Govindapadaji. And as he came, he saw that the cave is also fully flooded. The water has gone inside. So as soon as he came, he had his kamandalu with him and he chanted some mantras. All the water came back in the kamandalu. So everything was drained from the surroundings and it came into the kamandalu. Everybody were surprised. And then the Guru came out. He said, my disciple has come. He knew that this is my disciple. Because Veda Vyasji had told him that when a student like this comes, child like this, when he comes and does this kind of thing, this feat which he performed, then you know that the one who will carry further this sampradaya will have arrived. Govindapadaji could make out, and then he learned from him very soon. It was just, it was just learning. It was to show the society that even it is a shishya should always get his knowledge from the teacher to show this was done. Otherwise he himself knew everything. But then he lived with Govindapadaji and learnt everything. Then Govindapadaji asked him to go to Kashi, because he knew that this has to be done, because so many different cults were prevailing that time. And as I said in the beginning, Vedic culture and our Vedas were totally distorted, and there was lot of corruption, and there was not a single man of learning who could revive this thing, who could give the real message of the Vedas to people. And so Govindapadaji asked him to go to Kashi. He said, you go there, write all the commentaries, begin that work, and start your missionary thing, what you want to do. Kashi was the seat of learning, and has all the different representatives of different dharmas, everybody were there in Kashi. So he went there. And in that Manikarnika, that place, that is where he lived. And he began writing. He began writing Bhashyam, his commentary. Bhashyam is the commentary upon Upanishads. So, upon Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, he wrote Bhashya. Govindapadaji had asked him to write even Bhashyam on Brahma Sutra. So here he is living, and he has started teaching, and already his name is spread. But then he realized that he has to write Bhashyam even on Brahma Sutra. These three are supposed to be the Prasthana Trai. These are the pillars of our Vedic learning. If you know these three, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra, if you know these three, then you know everything. Prasthana Trai. These are the three pillars. And that is why he began writing. And now he wants to write on Brahma Sutra. So he took his time out and went to Badrikashram to write about it in peace, in that serene atmosphere. So he goes there. And he begins, and you understand, those days there were no computers and laptops and typewriters also, and not even pen and paper also. Everything was being written on leaves, and with some kind of ink of the trees, etc. And he wrote all this. He finished, he was about to complete the commentary on Brahma Sutra. Then one day, he was teaching the commentary, etc. to his students. Then suddenly a Brahmin came. An old Brahmin appeared before him. And he said, you please, he just suddenly came and started questioning the meaning of the Brahma Sutras. And the debate went on between them, Shankaracharya ji and that Brahmin. This went on for about 32 days. He kept on asking and asking this way, that way, testing all the commentary that was written. And Bhashyakara was replying one by one all the questions. Because sutras are so many. And a sutra means what? Aphorisms. And aphorism means it is written in the most cryptic style. It is short, not a single letter will be more. And the meaning is also very cryptic. So whenever you learn, or if you have heard about them or read, then you would know that it is absolutely no way possible that we can make out what is contained in that sutra. Those kind of sutras. And then that Brahmin is asking him. Then one of his students, which one? Padmapada. I will talk about his students also, because they are also unique. Padmapada could see things. He came to know that this cannot be an ordinary Brahmin. He could see inside that this is Vedavyasa. This is none but Vedavyasa, who has written the Brahma Sutras. Brahma Sutras are written by Vedavyasa. And he wanted to see what kind of commentary is being written. And so he had come to test He was so happy when he was asking also. And then Padmapada ji is saying, there is a beautiful mantra which Padmapada uttered. He says aloud, Shankaraha Shankaraha. Shankaracharya ji is Shankar, is none but Lord Shiva. Shankaraha Shankaraha Sakshat, he is none but Shankaraha. And Vyaso Narayanaha Swayam. And this one who has come to examine and who is debating is Sakshat Vyasaha Narayana Swayam. Narayana is Vyasaha. Tayor Vivade Samprapte. When they are debating and arguing like this, he says, Kinkaraha Kim Karomyam. What should I do? As a servant, I am Kinkara. I am their disciple. What should I do? He said this aloud. And that is how Shankaracharya ji came to know with whom he was talking. Vedavyasi then appeared in his form. And he said, I am so happy with the commentaries that are written. Then Shankaracharya ji said, having done this work, my mission is over. Because it was already in the beginning itself, Shankara, when he came, he said that the son will have short life. Only 16 years were given to him. Only 16. And by this time I have done my work. Everything is written. Bhashya on three main things. Upanishads, 10 main Upanishads. And Brahma Sutra and Bhagavad Gita. I have written. So now my time is over and now I will go. Vedavyasi said, no. I give you another 16 years. I grant you another 16 years. May you now spread this knowledge throughout India. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, go and spread this knowledge. Because Vedic culture, Vedic knowledge is almost gone. We have to revive that. And who can do it better than you? So you have to live. So another 16 years were granted to him. So this is how from that day onwards he began his Digvijaya. Digvijay, you must have means victory over all, because as I said, there were 74 different cults. And all of them were different. Why this happened, that also we should know. Because before Bhashyakara came, as I said, there was no... What happens, the Vedas had everything in it. But as the time goes, Sakale Neha Mahata, Bhagavan has said in Gita, that as the time passes, if the people who learn Vedas, if they, those who are learning Acharyas themselves, and people who receive, if they are not great enough, if that Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti is not there, if that kind of preparation is not there, then it can happen that they are not in a position to retain this. Then the yoga means the learning can even be destroyed. And that is exactly what had happened. And when this kind of thing happens, when artha and kama, when wealth and sensuous pleasures, when they gain prominence, it is very natural that dharma and moksha, the chart from the 4 purusharthas of our life, artha and kama, when they come in the front and those two go behind, it automatically happens. When artha and kama, they become important, they gain prominence, these two are bound to decline. That had happened. And there are many things in Vedas. Of those many things, the Brahmins or the priests, as I said, lot of distortion had entered. Corruption had entered. Vedas were being misinterpreted. And they gave prominence only to the ritual part. The karma kanda part, ritual part, along with certain animal sacrifices that were given prominence. And a lot of sacrifices were happening, where there was lot of violence. People naturally did not like this. And they were turned off towards Vedas. Because of this, other religions entered. There was Tantra, and in Tantra also, because then vested interests come into, they also become prominent. In Tantra also there is good part, but what became important was that ferocious form of the Devi was worshipped along with animal sacrifices. All this was going on. As I said, people were turned off. And at that time, who came? Buddha came. Mahavira came. What they did is, they were very great people, very, very compassionate, very, very kind. They naturally preached about non-violence. People liked it. But in the process, what these people did was threw away Vedas. They did away with Vedas. Ideally, what should have been done is to remove this part and then teach Vedas in its true purport, which was Jiva Brahma Aikya, the main theme of Vedanta or Vedas. Even Veda also, Karma Kanda is not meant for Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda, as we saw, is to lead you to Jnana Kanda. But they could not see this because they themselves did not have teachers. So what happened? They threw the baby with the bath water. You know this thing? And in the hospital, these nurses take babies for, as soon as they are born, they take the baby for cleaning and giving them shower. Then in the tub where the baby is washed, the water is to be thrown away after giving bath to the baby. But they throw away it is like that, the baby is also thrown away. Similarly, this part of the Vedas, okay, they were an aberration. They had to be removed. What happened? They did away with the whole Vedas. And in the process, people lost one of the best things. We need Jiva Brahma Aikya theme in our life. We are all limited. We take ourselves to be limited, and there is no happiness. There is absolutely no peace as long as we are ignorant about our true nature. So this was never understood by them, that what Vedas really contain. Jiva Brahma Aikya is the principal subject matter of Vedanta, of Vedas, but this they missed. When one thing is bad, not bad, but misused, then if you are not wise enough, then you may throw away the whole thing. You don't care to look. There are other things which are good. Take that and remove this. But that did not happen. In short, this was the position of India at that time. Not only this, so many other Mimamsakas were very strong. Nayayikas were equally strong. Then there were 74 different cults. All of them were equally powerful. And now Shankaracharya ji began teaching. It was not Digvijaya, doesn't mean that I will go and show to everyone that this is right thing and you all are wrong. Not with this attitude. He was compassionate. He wanted people to see the real meaning of Vedas, and that is what everybody really wants. Everybody wants to really find the real happiness. And the real happiness, the real truth is not far away from you. It is your very nature. In throwing away the meaning of the Vedas, you are really depriving yourself of that truth which is hidden in yourself. It is not away from you at all. Just that deer, she looks for that, what is that? Saffron. That is kasturi. That thing is, that it is so fragrant, coming from her navel only. It is hidden right there. But she goes throughout the forest in search of that. Similarly, we look for happiness. We look for that lasting thing. We look for that infallible. everywhere. In objects, in people, in relations, in name and wealth, and everywhere. And this has been going on for lives together. And all the while, it is hidden in your own core. Your very true nature is that. This is what Bhashyakara wanted everybody to see this. And out of compassion, out of our own benefit, out of our own well-being, he started teaching. He went to each and every different acharya of different cults and taught them, first debated with them. But just imagine what must have been his attitude, that at the end of the debate, that other acharya on his own would fall flat. Fall flat in the sense would become his disciple. That means he could teach them. And they would understand, yes, this is right. So this is how he travelled from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, not once, not twice, but thrice. All this is in 32 years. In 32 years, we don't even know what we are doing. We sometimes cannot find what is our call in life. And this much, and that too not in flight, bus, train, there were no such things, walking. So this is what he accomplished. So many things. Wrote Bhashya on 10 Upanishads. There were so many Upanishads that time. Now, of course, most of them are lost. We have only 108 or some left now. So many are destroyed deliberately by Britishers and Mughals and all of them who invaded. But so many, about that time there were so many. Out of that, the teacher in him selected 10 main Upanishads. How were they? They were not that they are the important ones. But from in those 10, the Jiva Brahma Aikya and the methodology of teaching was very simple. And student or the Shishyas or the audience this message could be conveyed very well through these Upanishads. That kind of content was there. That is why he selected 10. Isha, Kena, Kata, Mundak, Mandukya, Aitareya, Taitareya, Chandogya, Brihadaranyaka. Isha, Kena, Kata, Mundak, Mandukya, Aitareya, Taitareya, Chandogya, Brihadaranyaka, and one more. Kata, I said, Isha, Kena, Kata. Prashna Upanishad. So these are the 10 he selected and wrote Bhashya on all of them. So if you learn this 10, it is enough. Wrote Bhashya on Bhagavad Gita. Wrote Bhashya on Brahma Sutra. Not only this much, so many Prakarana Granthas he wrote. All of them, those who are not ready for Upanishads, can go to Prakarana Granthas. So many Prakarana. There are Prakarana Granthas which contain thousands of verses, like Upadesha Sahasri. And there can be very few verses also. So many Prakarana Granthas, so many Stotras, so many prayers. Oh my God, the amount of literature that he has given. Everything out of compassion. If not this, try that. And then he travelled, not only for teaching, but at the same time he saw that there are so many reforms to be brought about in India. As I said, in temples there were so many, most of the temples were also destroyed. So he revived them and he showed the right way of worshipping. As I say, all kind of himsas and sacrifices were being done. He removed all of that. And he advocated Panchayatana Puja. Because in India, generally people worship, some may worship Shiva, some may Vishnu, some Devi, Ganesha, Surya. These are the main 5. So he said that you can have an Ishta Devta. And other devtas can also be placed. Ishta devta in the center, and then rest of the devtas, we respect everyone, and this 5 devtas can be placed in your small temple or big temple, and you can worship. Not only did he do this, but he even placed and trained the priests to carry out the worship in the right way, in the benign way. This was also, which is a big thing, big thing. This is all he did. Then he had 4 great Shishyas also. First Shishya that he met was Padmapada in Kashi, because later on he established 4 mathas. When before he left, he established 4 mathas, because for posterity and for sampradaya, it is not enough that you do great work and then go. Then afterwards there is nothing. And again same problem. No. Sampradaya has to go on. Sada Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam. The knowledge which was given by Sadashiva, for that in that parampara, Shankaracharya ji is the link in between, the pendant in the chain. And then this chain comes right up to our teachers. So this sampradaya has also to continue. And for that, he established 4 mathas in 4 directions. One is in the Jyotir, what is that? In north. No, not Joshimat. In north. Then there is in east. There is in east this Jagannath. Puri. Then in west Dwaraka, and in east Sharada Peetham, Sringeri. So at all these 4 places he established pathas, and he placed his 4 students everywhere. Everywhere means in each of the 4 places. Joshimat was, I think, Totakacharya was given that. Then Dwaraka, Hastamalaka was given. East, Padmapada was given. And south, Sureshwaracharya ji was placed. So these are the 4 places, and all the things were taught, so that they can carry out this work. Now, to learn about his students, Padmapadacharya ji he met in Kashi. He was himself a great scholar. And he met Bhashyakara, and in no time he became his student. He himself, Padmapada, he himself had great, powers with him. He was a bhakta of Nrsimha Lord. And then he was such a great devotee of Shankaracharya that once when Shankaracharya ji was on one side of the river, on this side of the Ganges, he took a bath in the Ganga, and then he had his clothes wet. He was standing. And Padmapadacharya ji was on the other bank, on the opposite side. Bhashyakara, after taking bath, comes out of the river. He's all wet, and he says, "My clothes." Padmapadacharya is standing with the clothes on the other. But as soon as he heard that Guru is asking, "Where are my clothes?" This river was in flood. Ganga was in splurge, without thinking anything. He just began to walk on the river. And he's coming with the clothes, he just started coming this side. Gangaji, why this name Padmapada? So Gangaji at that time gave birth to lotus. At every step which he placed on the river, a lotus came. And he placed his feet on the lotus, one by one, and then came this side. From that day, his name is, the name that he gets is Padmapada. Padma, on his feet are the lotus, or whose feet are full of lotus, that kind of name. Padmapada he gets. So this is how, there is so much miracle in his life. We are not, just because there are miracles, he had that power, that doesn't mean he is not great because of the miracles. That is what I am trying to say. But Shankaracharya is not great because of miracles, but he had powers, that I am trying to say. And then there was one, then came Hastamalaka. Hastamalaka he met when he was passing from the west coast. Yeah. And then on the way, he came across a village, and then a couple came to them with a child, who was all like as if he doesn't know anything, half mad, half crazy kind of a child. So they are bringing this couple to Shankaracharya and saying, Maharaji, he's not speaking only. For years together, this son doesn't speak. He doesn't utter a single word. We can't handle this child. What to do? So, Shankaracharya is asking him, who are you? What is your name? The fellow started speaking. He says, I am not Bhumi. I am not Vyoma. Means, I am not space. I am not earth. I am not air. Then who are you? Nityopalabdhi swarupoham. The child says, Nitya upalabdhi swarupoham. Which means, I am of the nature of the self, which is always there. Shankaracharya told this fellow, this parents, this child is of no use to you. He said, this kind of a child is of no use to you. The parents said, you please take him. You please take him. This is how he got Hasta Malaka, whose knowledge was as if, as if there is something on my hand and how clearly I would know this. That kind of knowledge Hasta Malaka possessed. This is another Shishya. Padmapada Hasta Malaka. There was one Todakacharya. Todakacharya, his name was Giri. He was a very simple and full of faith. He believed in serving his teacher. And others used to make fun of him. That this one is only, he will just wash clothes of the teacher and do his seva, etc. Not really interested in learning. Bhashyakara knew that other students are making fun of him. Which means they all look upon themselves as very intelligent. We are all intelligent. We all know. We can study this. We can reason. And this fellow is only seva. This one only knows how to serve Guru. Which means he is not capable of learning this. So people who are very intelligent sometimes make fun of those who have heart prominent in them, So Bhashyakara knew that this alone will not, these two have to mingle. That is why one day when everybody was ready to study on the banks of the Ganges, everybody have gathered. But Bhashyakara is not starting. He doesn't start the discourse. The lesson is not begun. Everybody is waiting. Why aren't you beginning the class? He said, where is Giri? Giri has not come. Giri has not come as yet. Others were murmuring. Whether he comes or not, what does it matter? What does it matter whether Giri comes or not? The pillar is sitting here. Pillar is here. Does he know anything? Similarly, Giri also doesn't know. But Bhashyakara would not begin. He said, where is Giri? At that time, suddenly, the Giri came from the Ganges, from the other side, singing a stotra. He is singing a stotra which is full of grammar and which is full of the meaning of Vedanta, in which he is praising his teacher. Vidita kila shastra sudajalade. He says, my teacher is this and that, and he is the one who knows the entire scripture. And it was written in such a meter which was very difficult. Means he blurted out. Spontaneously, the stotra came from his speech. Everybody was flabbergasted as to what this person is doing. They came to know that this is nothing but the grace of teacher. Means seva is also important. We all are learning, but nothing is still settling. All this is due to the grace of the teacher, that it just came. And he could write the stotra in a wonderful meter. That meter was Totak meter. So that is how he got the name Totakashtaka. So I am showing you how all his students were great. And one of the greatest, all of them were great, was Sureshwaracharya. He was actually Mandan Mishra in his past, a great apostle of Karma Kanda. It is very I don't know whether you know all this or not. About Shankaracharya Ji, I think we should know. Our whole this thing lies upon him, and it is befitting and becoming of us that we at least know who he was. He was a blessing to humanity, not only to us. He was a blessing, and that is why I thought it would be nice to say a few words. Atmashatkam we will do. We will not run. So, Mandan Mishra. Mandan Mishra's teacher was Kumarilla Bhatta. He was a great Mimamsaka. Mimamsaka means there was a school of thought which was called Mimamsaka. They were the greatest opponents of Vedas. They are also from the Veda only. But they believed only in Karma Kanda, only in rituals. They believed that their philosophy was that happiness can be attained only by karma. They believed that heavens is the goal of our life. And we can go to heaven by performing different rituals here in this life. Agnihotra, etc. If we perform these rituals throughout our life, then we can go to heaven, Swarga. And Swarga was their goal. Which means, in short, what they meant was that it is by karma, it is by action that we can attain the moksha in our life. Moksha is aprapta. According to them, moksha or the goal of life is not achieved, and it has to be achieved, and the means is karma. You understand? This is what Mimamsaka strongly believed, and that was a very, very strong view or school of thought those times. Kumarilla Bhatt, his teacher, was a great person, but he had made a mistake, which I am not getting into now. And because of that, he was immolating himself. For that, he was sitting in the midst of the sand, etc., and immolating himself. This is what he was doing. So Shankaracharya Ji, in his Digvijaya, when he is debating with all the great acharyas, he went to this Kumarilla Bhatta also. Kumarilla Bhatta said, in this situation, I cannot sit and talk to you, but I believe what you are saying. But you better go to my student Mandan Mishra. If you can convert him, not convert him, but if you can teach this to him, then half of the south will also understand this, because he is the main person. He is a great man. And Mandan Mishra was indeed a very, very arrogant and a staunch believer in Karma Kanda. The Bhashyakara is going there. So this is long story. He goes there. And then they both have debate. The debate regarding what is the truth. Mandan Mishra is saying that karma is the truth. And Bhashyakara's point of view was that karma is fine. Karma is a means, indirect means, but not direct means. Direct means of knowledge is none but jnanam. Chittasya shuddhaye karma, Bhashyakara says. For shuddhi, for bringing about the purity of antakarana, karma is useful, besides getting other things of life. But natu vastu upalabdhaye, for getting vastu means jnanam, for knowing the truth, only and only thing that is required is knowledge. Why? Because the truth is right with you. Only thing is you don't know. The problem in life is not to get something. The thing is that we do not know. Ignorance is problem. It's not that we do not have it. When we have something and we do not know, what is needed is only to point out. I have this thing, right here. But I don't, and I'm looking for my glasses. And I ask, hey, where are my glasses? Did I leave in dining room? Did I leave? Hey, please tell me. You all laugh. You will laugh for some time. And then what will you say? Swamini ji, it is right with you. What did I have to do to get this? Did I have to get up? Did I have to do pranayama? Did I have to fast? Did I have to jump up and down? Nothing. You needed to just tell me. Praptasya prapti. Praptasya, that which is with me, that only I gain with your words. Your words enlighten me about something which is right here with me. But I didn't know, so your words worked. Similarly, Bhashyakara's debate went on this line. And Mandan Mishra on that line. But now who is right? So Mandan Mishra was a householder. He was a grihastha. And his wife is there. His wife is Saraswati. Actually, Mandan Mishra was the incarnation of Brahma. And his wife was Saraswati. And they kept Saraswati as empire. You decide who is right. What is there? How to find out? So she said, okay, the debate is going on. And before the debate, she made both of them wear a garland of flowers. She said, the mala of the one whose mala will wither first, will begin to wither, that will show that that person is wrong and that one is lost. This again, this thing, the debate went on for 21 days. This was not ordered. For 21 days continuously both of them are debating in Mahishmati. This is going on. And then on the 21st day, and the thing was that the one who loses will become the disciple. So Bhashyakara said, if you lose, then you will become my disciple. And if I lose, I will become a grihastha, he says. He said that, because you are a grihastha. So this is how it happened. Then the flower is, the garland of Mandan Mishra began to wither. But he was ready. He said, yes, I accept what you say. He lost. And he really understood everything. And he took sannyasa. He immediately is taking sannyasa. And then joining Bhashyakara. And he was the brightest of all the 4 students. Saraswati ji, what to do now? So she, Bhashyakara said, you become the one in the Sharada Peetham. The Sharada Peetham will be known after you. You are the one, you are really the goddess Sharada. So Shrungeri Peetham will be after you. So that is how she is placed there. But this were the 4 students of Shankaracharya ji. So many things happened in his life. Then the time of his, I'm not going into all of them, but as he had promised his mother that when it will be your last time, I will come from anywhere. And he came to know. In his meditation, he saw that my mother is now about to go. So he immediately went there. And then he wanted to give her moksha. And he had all the powers also. So he, with his powers, brought Shiva before her. She said, I am not interested. Then so many other. Then Vishnu was brought. Vishnu was brought before her. Then she said, yes. He made a stotra of Vishnu, and singing that she passed away. And this is how she died. Then as a sannyasi, you cannot cremate. You cannot do the last kriyas also. So the village people, they did not allow, they said, we will not allow you to do. People are orthodox. We will not allow you to do. We will not cooperate with you. So Bhashyakara said, I don't care. But I will, whether you help me or not, I don't care. I will do it for my mother. See, this was his strength. He could even, if necessary, break the rules. There was no, that kind of rigidity was not there. And he himself cremated his mother in the backyard. So that even now in Kerala, they cremate, I think, this is what I know, they cremate their people in the backyard only. Because there was some curse he gave them. Something was there. So this is how his life was. And this is how he conquered the whole of India. Conquered means with this, spread the teachings everywhere. And then he realized that now it is my time to go. So he went towards Kedarnath. Towards Kedarnath he proceeds. But before doing that, he gives last Upadesha to all his students. He said that is Sadhan Panchakam. In Sadhan Panchakam, he has given 20 steps towards moksha. There are 20 steps, ladders carrying you to moksha. So this he gave in this teaching, he gives in Sadhan Panchakam. Beautiful stotra of 5 verses. That was his last message to humanity through his students. And then this is how he finished his work and left. But what he has given to us is just, priceless. We can never, if today we can learn all this, sitting here in USA, sitting here in India also, that you learn all this, that we can understand what is given in Upanishad, because Upanishad themselves are very difficult. We cannot understand. There sometimes it appears that there is no connection between one verse and the other verse. In one verse it may be said that Ishvara is everything, so give up. And in the second verse, the verse will say, Kurvan neveha karmani. Do action and live for 100 years. What is the connection? So all this only a teacher can show. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. One who is Brahma, who himself abides, who himself knows the Vedas in and out, the purport in and out. At the same time that he knows is not enough. Supposing he knows and he sits, I have got everything. Then what? Of what use this Mahatma is for us? He can bless us, but we will not get the teachings. We will ourselves not know all this. So, that he can teach, that he can pass on this knowledge, and that is what Bhashyakara did. He established the method of teaching. Sampradaya vid. He taught us how to teach. Even before also it was there, but in a very defined way, the methodology of teaching is given. So it is a great blessing that Shankaracharya ji came. Lord Shiva, he was not Shankaram, Shankaracharya. We just uttered that verse in the prayer. Shruti Smriti Karunalayam. Shruti Smriti Purana Alayam. He is the Alay, temple. He is the Alay, the shrine. Alay means the place for Shruti, for Smriti and Puranas. All of them abide in him. All of them abide in him and he could teach. So, this was in short about Bhashyakara. And now we will come to the Atmashatkam, or we can even begin it tomorrow. But in short I will say that this stotra has 6 verses, and mainly it is in the form of meditation. It is the best stotra with which you can meditate. And the method that is employed here is, in Vedanta they say that if you want to teach something, the method is Adhyaropa Apavadabhyam Nishprapancham Prapanchate. They say that which is Nisprapancha, Nirguna, Nirakara. How to teach this? How to teach something which has no qualities, no form, no shape, nothing? How to teach? So, the method is that by Adhyaropa and Apavada. Adhyaropa means we have already superimposed something upon the self, which means we know the self in the wrong manner. That has already been accomplished by us because of ignorance. So what is the method to remove that Apavada? So that is why the method of teaching or knowing the self is neti. Na iti, na iti, na iti. This sentence comes from Brihadaranyaka. Na iti. What is Atma? That they will not say. But what will they say? It is not this. It is not this. It is not this. Then what is it? What? After removing all this, what remains is Atma. What remains is Atma. They will not say what it is. Here of course Ananda. But what is Ananda? Where to find? Removing means what? This we will see from tomorrow. One by one, what all is not Atma is taken to be Atma by us, will be removed, and then in all the 6 verses, first 4 lines, 3 lines does Apavada. Atma is not this, not this, not this. And in the last line, it will say Chidananda Rupaha Shivoha. This is how all the 6 verses go. It is a beautiful stotra for meditation. Meditation means when the mind is quiet, you give appointment to yourself. Meditation is appointment with one's own self. We give appointment to others. In our day-to-day life, in our whole life also, we hardly get time to be with ourselves. So, meditation means this is the quality time given to myself. But before that, I should know who am I. I just sit with me, and if the same person is there, then what to do? It becomes a headache. That is why one should know first of all what this self is. Then in meditation we do that. Because the means of knowing Atma is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These are the 3 methods, means of knowing the self. What is Shravanam? In Shravanam, that is in first you listen about the self. Listen means through the teacher. Of course, Shastra are the Pramana. Shastra contains the, Shastra enlightens about the nature of the self. But that you come to know through the teacher. Shastras are not like novels that you sit back and read. You should never read it that way. You listen from one who knows. And the teacher unfolds by different methods. So that is Shravanam. Then, by Shravanam you get the right knowledge. But still there are doubts. That I did not know is removed by Shravanam. But then there are doubts and vagueness. That goes by the second means. What is that? Mananam. Mananam is nothing but extension of Shravanam, but which we do ourselves. Mananam is nothing but extension of Shravanam. What you have heard, that only you go back and contemplate upon. Just like that cow, she eats everything and then sits back and then continues to chew. She keeps on chewing. Similarly, here you hear properly. What is being said. But everything may not be clear. So you go back and think about that. You take down some notes or listen again. Nowadays, everything is very, very easy. Tape it and this and that. Sit back and listen. But still, another obstacle is there. Habitual error. I know I am Ananda. I know I am consciousness. I know I am full. But by mistake, by the habit dies hard. I again come back to the same thing. We know Shivoham Shiva. Moment we wear the chappals, it comes back. Again I am woman, I am man. And moment somebody says something, I give back proper. Tit for tat. We have here just heard everything is one. There is one Ishvara in all of us. But it doesn't remain. Why? Because the samskaras of taking this body, etc. as I, are so deeply ingrained for past so many births, that it doesn't go away that easily. And therefore we have to sit back with ourselves and rigorously and religiously do this practice. We have to constantly remind ourselves, I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, I am not this. Do this, and then what I am. Practice with yours and be that. So, this is what is meditation. There are two types of meditation. One meditation is that in which the object of meditation may be different from us. If you are thinking of Lord Rama, then Rama is different from me. But I think about his form and his leela and what all he did. That is one kind of meditation where the meditator and the object of meditation are different. And here the object is to think about him, to visualize him, to have his darshan. This is one. One may think about some pratika or swastik may be there, om may be there, this is all where the meditator and the meditated are different. The meditation that is talked about here, which we call nididhyasana, is the meditation upon the very meditator. The meditation that we are talking about, which we will be seeing from tomorrow, is meditation upon the very meditator. What is my true nature? Who am I? I just don't keep on repeating, who am I, who am I, who am I? No. I first of all acquaint myself with the knowledge of the self, which is unfolded by the teacher, and then I take it with me and sit with myself and meditate upon that. After doing this for a long time, or as best as we can do, slowly what I am not will drop and what I am will remain in my understanding. This is what we have to accomplish. Even though it is my nature, today I am far, far, far removed from that. I have to come back to myself. This yatra is coming back to myself. I have gone away from myself, like that prodigal son. It is coming back. This yatra, this journey is inward, not outward. This yatra is inward. Inward means I have to know who I am. That is why Raman Maharshi ji also used to always say, think and sit, soham. I am saha aham. With each and every breath, saha aham. When you exhale, saha aham. Saha aham. Aham saha. Saha aham. Saha means the truth is me. I am that truth. Just as Kaivalya Upanishad, tat tvameva, tvameva tat. Tat tvameva, tvameva tat. Tat tvameva. Both ways. I am that, he is me. There is absolutely no distance between the seeker and the sought. That will be the subject matter of Atmashatkam, which we will begin from tomorrow. We will small bhajan today's Thursday, so if I can sing, let me hope. मानस भजले गुरु चरणम मानस भजरे गुरु चरणम दूस्तर भव सागर तरणम मानस भजरे गुरु चरणम मानस दूस्तर भव सागर तरणम चाल से रे गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय गुरु महाराज शिवाय शिवाय नमो ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव शिवो अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो मानस भज रे गुरु चरणं मानस भज रे गुरु चरणं मानस भज रे चरणं दुस्तर भव सागर तरणं दुस्तर गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय गुरु महाराज जय गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय गुरु जय स्वामीनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय स्वामीनाथ जय जय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमो अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुण शिवो अरुणाचल शिव चल शिव अरुण शिवो मानस भज रे गुरु चरणं मानस भज रे गुरु चरणं दुस्तर भव सागर तरणम् ॐ पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ओ गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ